Are you guys ready for the 10 hottest comics of the week? Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is good, YouTube? I am back. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and we are back with another Hot 10 breakdown of the week. If you guys aren't familiar with what I do in this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down one by one for you guys, telling you guys out there in the community if I'm a buyer here at these prices or if I'm staying away and selling these books if I own them. But before we get started, like always, guys, I told you I am giving something away once we get to 4,000 subs, and every 1,000 subs thereafter, I'm going to be giving something away until we get to 10,000, and then the real freaking fun begins. So do me a favor, go ahead, click that subscribe button. I want you to smash that like button. This video's got to get to 2,000 likes, so do me a favor, smash it and turn on the notification bell. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. At number 10 on this week's list is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 130 and the first appearance of the Dazzler. But this is also, guys, the second appearance of Emma Frost and a CGC 8.5 just sold last week for $179, up 9% since August. Now, we don't really talk a lot of X-Men on the Hot 10 breakdown as of late. I think all the hype has since died down. Disney had bought Fox, so we don't really see a lot of these books appearing on this list anymore. However, I still think all X-Men keys are a pretty good buy right now as they seem to come down in price. Regardless, guys, I'm not a huge fan of the Dazzler or this book. Again, it's still cheap enough if you want to go out and buy it, but for me, I just can't do it here. I'm not really that interested, but if you are, do yourself a favor, pick it up. If not, like me, I'm staying away. At the 9th spot is a copy of Batman Adventures number 12 and the first appearance of Harley Quinn. This has been a pretty important book over the past couple of years. I know Harley is a huge character in DC lore right now. Everybody seems to love her. Regardless, guys, a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $1,440, up 20% over that 12-month rolling average. I've talked about this book in the past, and I always say that there are a decent amount of copies out there. Every time I see them, I don't always see them in a super high grade. So again, I always tell you guys this, when I'm looking to buy this book, I want this book in really a 9.8. I'm probably not even going to go for the 9.6. I'm going straight to the 9.8. That's the book I want. But even that, guys, I'm not really into collecting this era of books right now. Same goes for the modern stuff. I'm staying away from this one. I do like Harley. I do enjoy the character, but I'm not sure what else they have planned for this character going forward. I know James Gunn taking over DC. It's definitely a good sign for all DC characters. I will say that. But for me, I'm just not into this one. At number 8 on this week's list is a copy of NYX number 3 and the first appearance of Laura Kinney, X23. This book was so hot maybe about 3 to 4 years ago and has since cooled off from then. But I will say this, guys, a CGC 9.8 just sold the prior week for $2,150, up 26% over that 12-month rolling average. This book is starting to heat up again, and I'm not sure why. Again, you could have probably had a really super high-grade copy of this book a couple of years back for a lot cheaper. All of a sudden, this took a big jump, and let's find out why, because I have heard no news about this character coming or showing up in anything right now. Regardless, guys, not too sure I want to own this book. Again, if I'm going to put $2,000 towards a big Wolverine character, it's going to be the first appearance of Wolverine, right? Hulk 181. That to me is a better buy than spending $2,000 on this book. But hey, to each his own. If you want to go out and spend the money, be my guest. I just can't do it. At number 7 on this week's list is a copy of Marvel Comics Super Special number 18 and the first appearance of Indiana Jones in comics. You guys heard that right. Indiana Jones is finally on the Hot 10 breakdown. And a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $335, up 111% since March of this year. Wow, that is quite a jump in maybe about a 4 to 5 month span, guys. I am not too sure why this book is on this list. Regardless, maybe there's some more news out there about Indiana Jones possibly returning to the screen. Regardless, why are you going to go out and buy this book right now? There's been 5 or 6 Indiana Jones movies, and all of a sudden now this book is starting to get hot. It makes no sense to me. Somebody's playing some games on this one. I'd be staying the hell away from this one unless you want to own it in your collection just for nostalgia purposes. I do like like Indiana Jones, but other than that, this is not an investment book and not a book I want in my collection. At number 6 on this week's list is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 340 in this iconic cover by the great Todd McFarlane. And this book has been on and off the list for the better part of a couple of months, and I'm not sure why. Over and over, we're getting new high sales. Regardless, guys, a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $1,900, up 20% over that 12-month rolling average. Now, you guys know I love Todd and I love this cover. I think it's an awesome book, but I just think there's so many other books out there I want to spend $2,000 on over this one. I love this book. I want the collection, and I definitely want it in a 9.8, but to spend that kind of money on this book, I just don't see it being worth it down the line. But guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think? I know a lot of people love this book. Are you willing to spend the $2,000 on this one, or you want to hold back, keep that money, and put it towards something else? For me, it's a no-go. At number 5 on this week's list is a copy of Wolverine number 88 Deluxe Edition and the first battle between Wolverine and Deadpool. And we all know why this book is on this list. Hugh Jackman will reprise his role as Wolverine alongside Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool finally in the MCU, a moment we've all been waiting for way too long. And a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $475, up 7% over that 12-month rolling average. Again, another book that probably could have had for real cheap way back when, and now all of a sudden we're paying up almost close to $500 for this book. Guys, stop it out there. I don't know who the hell is buying all these books at high prices. It's crazy. This book is almost meaningless. Yes, it's a cool first battle between two awesome characters, but why is this collectible? It's almost a modern age book. Why are we throwing away $500 on this book? Do yourself a favor, take your money and go put yourself towards a bigger book with that kind of money. To me, you guys know I ain't into it. At number 4 on this week's list is a copy of Fantastic Four number 33 and the first appearance of Atuma. You guys know there's a rumor, if you haven't seen Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever yet, that he's going to show up in this movie. If you've seen it, you kind of know. Regardless, guys, a CGC 2.0 just sold last week for only $81, up 2% since August. But in high grades, man, this book is selling like hotcakes for a high dollar amount. To me, hey, if you want to pick up a 2.0 low grade for under $100, I'm all for that. I think that it's a great buy. But if you want to spend high dollar amount on this books, I just don't think it's worth it. Who knows what they're going to do with the character going forward in the MCU and beyond. I can't see forking up that kind of money for this character. But again, low grade, I'm always a buyer of this book. I think it's a nice key have for under 100, 150 bucks. But for high grades, I just can't do it. At number 3 on this week's list is a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 2 and the second appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this is also the first appearance of April O'Neil. And a CGC 9.2 just sold last week for $800, up 25% over that 12-month rolling average. All of a sudden, another TMNT book is on this list. Not too sure why all of a sudden. Either way, this is a great book to have if you're a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. Unfortunately for myself, I enjoyed the Turtles growing up, but I don't want to spend $1,000 on the first appearance of April O'Neil, the second appearance of the Turtles. I'd rather take that money if you want to buy a TMNT number 1, maybe a second print. Maybe go into that before this one. That's just me. Regardless, guys, I'm not buying this one, but hey, it may be a decent book for someone out there who loves the Turtles a lot more than I do. At number 2 on this list is a copy of Omega Man number 3 and the first appearance of Lobo. There is huge spec out there right now that James Gunn will move forward with some type of character development for a Lobo show, a Lobo movie. Who knows what DC has planned. Regardless, guys, a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $350, up 10% over that 12-month rolling average. I find this book to be an interesting book to buy right now. I gotta be honest with you, it's still cheap enough at a 9.8 where I may want to add a copy. There are a decent amount of copies out there, so you gotta kind of see what you're willing to do. But for me, I think it's a decent buy. I actually think that maybe with James Gunn involved right now in DC and setting the tone, this may be a character they want to use, especially in a Deadpool-esque way, like a Guardians of the Galaxy type movie. You never know. It's worth specking on, in my opinion. Lobo is a great character, and I am shocked they really haven't done anything with him thus far. Regardless, this is one of my few buys this week. I definitely think it's worth it. Maybe we should look to pick this one up. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. And at the top spot, guys, is a book I am shocked that reached number 1 on this list. It is a copy of Wizard World Magazine number 1 and this San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. You guys know I was a huge Todd fan. I've always loved this cover. But to me, Why is this book at number 1? It makes no sense to me. I don't know why people are rushing out and trying to buy this thing. I love the Wizard magazine, but again, it's only about nostalgia purposes with this book right now. Regardless, a CGC 9.0 just sold the prior week for $400, up 18% over that 12-month rolling average. Again, everything I just said kind of explains it. Do you want to spend $400 on this book for a 9.0? Yes, it's a nice, great, high-grade copy. That's awesome. But again, you're only spending that money for nostalgia purposes. This is not an investment book. This is a cool book to have in the collection. I just think that's way too much money to spend on a book you just want to have in your collection. That's just me. That's just the way I see it. Drop me comments down below. I really love to hear what you guys think about a lot of these books on this list. That's it for the list this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, some new books, but again, not a lot of books that I really want to own for the collection over the long term. And right now, you guys know the only books I'm buying are for long-term collecting. And a lot of these books, they're like, you know, weekly spec books in my opinion. Yes, there's some great nostalgia books on here like Wizard World Magazine #1 and of course the first Indiana Jones. They're cool things to have, but they're so high priced at the moment. You could have had these books 3 or 4 years ago for maybe a fraction of the cost. So keep that in mind, guys, all right? Do me a favor, like I said before, smash that like button. Let's get this video up to 200 likes and get it out there in the community. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.